We begin in Lagos, where 5 people have been rescued from the rubble of a building that collapsed on Saturday morning in Lagos. The structure, located on Oremeta Street in the Ojodu Berger area, reportedly housed a local restaurant and came down at around 8 a.m. Emergency teams from the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency are continuing search and rescue operations at the site. LASEMA's Permanent Secretary, Dr. Olufemi Oke-Osanyitolu, said that the team is working to reach ground zero in the hope of locating more victims who may still be trapped beneath the debris. Although there are fears that lives may have been lost, no fatalities have been officially confirmed at this stage. Operations remain ongoing and authorities are urging residents to avoid the area for their safety. And we'll bring you live updates as soon as we're able to establish connection with our correspondents on the ground. Away from that, President Bola Tinubu has issued a firm directive to Nigeria's armed forces and security agencies demanding an immediate and decisive end to insecurity across the country. In his Easter message to Nigerians, the president said the tide is beginning to turn against those fueling violence, attributing his progress to the unwavering courage and commitment of the nation's security personnel. His directive comes amid a surge in violent attacks and the tragic loss of lives in several parts of the country. The president expressed heartfelt sympathy for those affected and acknowledged the pain and fear being endured by many communities. Now, on the economic front, he also addressed the current hardships facing citizens, assuring the public that the government's recovery efforts are beginning to bear fruit, offering a message of hope for stability and growth in the near future. The Catholic Bishop of Kano, John Niring, has called on Christians all over the world to reflect on Easter, its significance, and be examples in love and sacrifice. Now, speaking during the Good Friday service, where he urged Christians to reflect on the lives and times of Jesus and the sacrifice of Good Friday. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
It's Good Friday in Kano, a day with 2 opposing meanings. This is a reenaction of the passion of the death of Jesus Christ, a symbol of Christian faith and virtue. As residents in Kano witnessed this spectacle, it was an opportunity to reflect and refresh their memories of the essence of Christianity and the foundation of their beliefs. Though a sober day for all Christians worldwide, the annual rites and rituals of the church, comprising of prayers, sermons, veneration of the cross, and others, were all observed.
We need to carry our crosses. There are all kinds of situations. Of carrying our crosses. Could be in the family, things are not working very well. It could be in the business, things are not working very well. Could be health challenge. Your health is not too good, but you can carry that in following Jesus behind, because that is the message of Jesus. If we have to follow him, we have to follow him through the way of the cross. And for Jesus and all others, Peter, Paul, and so on, they have instructed us that it is only through the cross that we can attain glory.
Some Christian faithful were happy to share the lessons of Good Friday, to respond positively to the sacrifice of Christ on the cross.
I personally learned to be obedient, humble, love and share with one another, because love is the reason why Christ came.
This time around is the time we reflect on the sufferings, the death, the sacrifice Christ paid for us, which we never deserved. In effect, this is a time somebody, an innocent person, died for somebody who never deserved his intervention.
The Easter celebration will be on Easter Sunday, the day many Christian faithful celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
Now let's proceed to stories on the solemn observance of Good Friday. Across Nigeria, Christians join millions around the world in commemorating the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, a central moment in the Christian faith. Now in Lagos, worshippers at St. Anthony's Catholic Church in Surulere reflected on Christ's final hours through a moving passion play. News Central's lead correspondent Bernard Akede witnessed the emotional procession and brings us the story.
The Passion Play, a dramatic retelling of the suffering, crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ, remains a central part of Good Friday observances for Catholics worldwide. Here at St. Anthony's Catholic Church in Surulere, Lagos, parishioners say the annual reenactment is more than just a tradition. It is a spiritual journey, one that invites deep personal reflection.
In this season of Lent, it's another call to us, everybody, both leaders and followers, to check ourselves. How much have I contributed to the troubles in this country? You know, it's not only those who are up there. Yes, a lot of them have the bulk of the fault. Those of us followers who also have our own faults. So in what way have I contributed to the troubles of this country?
As the play moved from the sentencing to the crucifixion scene, many in the crowd were visibly moved. For the actors too, embodying the role came with its own lessons.
I feel like for me personally, it's a time for me to reflect, because Passion of Christ is a day whereby you have to feel sorrow, like you have to feel that sorrow in you. Because the time Jesus died for us, so it's not a time to laugh, it's not a time to smile, it's a time to mourn and be prayerful as well. That's what it means to me.
It's a call to remembrance, and it sort of brings me back to that knowledge that, okay, it is a time to sober up, basically. It's a time to reflect on myself. It's a time to change certain things about myself. That's why Lent gives us the 40 days. You know, psychologically, they tell you when you practice something for 21 days, it becomes part of you. So Lent gives you the extra, another 21 days, maybe, something like that, to you know, get used to that new habit you're trying to form.
Though Good Friday carries a somber tone, it is also a prelude to hope, the resurrection that comes with Easter Sunday.
I would say I'm excited that the Lenten season is almost coming to an end, but it also reminds me of the journey that Christ took. And it makes me reflect on some of the things that I do without, you know, thinking, right? And it makes me want to be more conscious of some of the things that I've been doing that are wrong. And I would like to say that it's made me a little more grounded, you know, and I'm more, like I said, conscious of so many things that I take for granted.
From the solemn streets of Lagos to the sacred ground of St. Anthony's Church, the reenactment of Christ's final hours serves not just as a religious ritual, but a mirror, inviting Nigerians to reflect, repent, and renew. As Lenten season draws to a close, the message here is clear. Faith must inspire action. In Lagos for News Central, Bernard Akede.
Good Friday, a central event in Christian belief, commemorates the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ. Now, many Christians in Delta State attend special services, including dramatizations of Jesus' crucifixion, procession walks, and theatrical performances depicting the Passion of Christ. Now, News Central correspondent Austin Azu examines its significance and moral lessons for the leaders.
Good Friday reannounced Jesus Christ's betrayal, arrest, trial, sentence, crucifixion, and burial. Christian faithful across the world, including Delta States, mark the day with special church services, including dramatizations of Jesus' crucifixion, procession walks, and theatrical performances depicting the Passion of Christ.
The Passion of Jesus is being demonstrated here by St. John Bosco's Catholic Church in Asaba, the suffering of Jesus to Golgotha.
The Bishop, Diocese of Asaba Anglican Communion, Right Reverend Kisley Obu speaks on the significance of Good Friday.
He was sinless, but he had to take our place, suffered the suffering meant for us, died the death that was to be for our own, and by his death, he has set us free from the consequences of sin. By the blood he shed on a day like this, he secured eternal forgiveness for as many as will believe that he actually died for them.
Other faithful also speak on the moral lessons that Nigerian leaders should learn from the Good Friday.
We should die to our sins and then resurrect to become new people.
So for us Nigerians, I urge us all to try to live a good life, at least to the glorification of Christ.
We should learn forgiveness. We should learn to put all we can to make things okay wherever we are. We should be humble. Leaders should also imbibe this character of humility and serve.
We should learn how to emulate the humility our Christ showed us. Because if not the humility, I don't think we will gather here today.
Behind me is the reenactment of Jesus on the cross alongside with two accused thieves. And this is the peak of Jesus' crucifixion on the cross, and thereafter his burial. Christians now look forward towards his resurrection, which is Easter Sunday. In Asaba for News Central, Austin Azu.
And with that, we'll go back to the story of a building collapse in Ojodu Berger, where 5 people have been rescued from the rubble, and emergency services are doing whatever it takes to make sure that they reach ground zero. We have our correspondent now, Oluwakemi Alimi, joining us from the scene of the incident. Kemi, can you please go ahead and give us an idea of what exactly happened, to that building, and what the rescue officials are actually saying at the moment?
Okay, Darshan, good afternoon. Yes, I'm here at Oremeta Street, Ojodu Berger, at the site of the building collapse. It's quite unfortunate here, and it's sad. Eyewitnesses say that the collapse happened around 9:10 a.m. this morning, and volunteers in the area have been trying to evacuate people that have been trapped under the rubble. And then we also have heavy presence of rescue agencies like the LASEMA, the Lagos State Fire Service, the Nigerian Red Cross, the men of the police, the Lasambos, and everyone trying to do as much as they can. We had spoken with the LASEMA Permanent Secretary earlier. He's told us that they're using both heavy and light rescue equipment so that they're able to evacuate as many people as possible. Officially, at that time we came about 2 to 3 hours ago, we were told that about 5 people were rescued, but we have volunteers in this area that also have some information to give us about those that have been rescued and casualties. So I'll just speak with one of them. He's here with me right now. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please tell us the experience, what has happened so far, how many people, or the idea of the number of people that you have that have been rescued, number of casualties, and what has been going on here so far.
Okay, what really happened this morning after around, I think it's around 8:05 in the morning. So we just heard the sound. So before we came outside, collapsed. So, but everybody in the street, we try, the one we could. So we brought out up to like 8 people alive in the morning.
Sorry, what?
Before they arrived, because we were calling we have already rescued with Shizu and Ama. Like they came, we rescued like 6 to 7 more people, but unfortunately we have like 4 people that are dead. Even I'm not the one that's supposed to come and be doing this, but I don't want any, passing by to just stay here and be giving you guys, anyhow information. So that's why we have like 4 casualties yet now. So everybody that has been rescued, if we calculate it together, at least we have like almost 16 to 17 people that has been rescued.
You mean rescued alive?
Yes, alive. So that's how it is.
Someone else who will be speaking with us on the rescue effort so far.
Good afternoon, ma. We've been trying so far. It happened very early in the morning, and we've been trying so far. But so far, we've rescued like 15 to 13 people, and we have 4 casualties presently. And we still have more people there that we are trying to rescue. They are trying to call us. We have 3 that is standard and are calling that they are still alive, but we still have like 7 to 10 people there. Damilola Feishita Onikoi.
Thank you very much.
All right, Kemi, if you can hear me, it's quite sad, from what we've actually gotten. The 16 to 17 people have actually been rescued, and also there's been 4 casualties. Quite sad. But what are you hearing from the authorities themselves? How far has the rescue operations gone, and how much longer will it take before it is concluded, before they reach ground zero?
Okay, so if you look behind me, you will see, that they have deployed, heavy equipment, to evacuate the rubble. So authorities are saying that they are trying their best, and all hands are on deck to ensure that casualties, people trapped under the rubble, would be rescued and that they would get to ground zero.
All right. Well, we hope that, the rescue operations finishes as soon as possible. And we do hope that some of the people that are still in the rubble are rescued alive. Thank you so much, Kemi. We'll definitely reach out to you for more update. Away from that, Nigeria's Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, has arrived in Jos, the Plateau State capital, on an official visit. He was received at the Yakubu Gowon Airport in Haipang by the General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander of Operation Safe Haven, Major General Folusha Oyinlola, alongside other top security officials in the state. News Central's Chizoba Nyongwe reports that the minister is in Plateau to commiserate with victims of the recent killings in Bassa local government area, which claimed several lives and left many others injured. He is currently en route to the affected communities for an on-the-spot assessment of the tragic incident. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll tell you that Kogi State targets global investment with new China partnership. We'll give you the details in a moment. Stay with us. In the wake of renewed violence in Plateau State, the General Officer Commanding 3 Armored Division, Major General Folusha Oyinlola, has called for united action to restore lasting peace. Now, speaking during an extensive stakeholders engagement, Major General Oyinlola, who also serves as the commander of Operation Safe Haven, urged community leaders, security agencies, and residents to work together in addressing the root causes of the crisis. Now, the meeting comes on the heels of recent killings in parts of the state, which have raised fresh concerns over security and communal tensions. Chizoba Nyongwe has the report.
The look on the faces of these stakeholders gathered here is that of sadness, sorrow, and regrets. According to the GOC 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Folusha Oyinlola, he is here with a heavy heart, calling for an end to this violence.
In the current situation in Plateau State, silence is complicity and inaction is extremely dangerous. When leaders fail to lead decisively against violence, they enable it. When they fail to hold their own accountable, they embolden criminal elements. I must therefore call out on all of us, not out of malice, but out of the solemn obligation to awake our collective consciousness.
He assures that security operatives will stop at nothing in fishing out the perpetrators of the attacks.
We are conducting offensive operations to track and bring the criminal elements responsible for these acts to book. Our troops have been deployed to flash pods in the states, and we have also enhanced intelligence gathering efforts. We are further reviewing our operational strategies to reflect the evolving dynamics of the security landscape.
Some of these state actors are not just worried at these recurring killings, but rather asking for decisive move to end the acts of violence.
This is a moment that demands wisdom, not weapon. I encourage all stakeholders here to strengthen the non-kinetic interventions through dialogue, what we're doing today, mediation, traditional conflict resolution mechanism, and also inclusion of all, including the minorities in the process, in the peace-building process.
Some of the legislations we have in Nigeria today still remain. These people will continue to do their bad work, and absolutely nothing is going to happen except we fighting each other.
If all these words would be hearkened to and all hands put on deck, then sooner than later, Plateau will know peace again like never before. In Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyoi.
Let's also tell you that the presidency has strongly refuted claims that Vice President Kashim Shettima was denied access to the presidential villa, labeling the reports as false, mischievous, and entirely fabricated. In a statement issued by Stanley Nwokwocha, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, the allegations circulated by obscure blogs were described as part of a coordinated attempt to create division within the presidency. Nkwacha stressed that there is no rift between President Bola Tinubu and the Vice President, who remains fully focused on his duties and steadfast in his support for the President's shared vision. The presidency also urged Nigerians to disregard such baseless claims and rely only on credible, verified sources for accurate information. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has given a damning verdict of the preparation of the People's Democratic Party ahead of the 2027 general elections. The minister, while replying to a question from News Central Television's Abuja Bureau Chief Amadine Uyi during a State of the Nation media chat in Abuja, says that the current crisis within the PDP has set the party in a backward trajectory, making it unprepared for the next general elections expected to wrestle power from President Bola Tinubu.
You have painted a very bleak picture of the situation in the PDP. Do we say that as of today, the PDP is not ready for the 2027 general election?
They are not ready. It's very obvious. PDP cannot say for sure. I have said it's not a question of whether you like me. It's not about whether you like. You don't have, like I've said this. You don't need to like me. What I'm saying, is it correct? What I'm saying, is it what will help the party? All this struggle, power struggle, cannot help us.
In a major move to drive economic growth, the Kogi state government has secured a landmark investment deal with China's Hunan province, focusing on agriculture, mining, and industrialization. The agreement was signed during a high-level investment mission to China, led by Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo. The deal is set to position Kogi as a leading destination for foreign investment in Nigeria. Now, speaking in Lokoja, Commissioner for Information Kingsley Fanwa described the trip as a masterstroke, noting that a key feature of the partnership is the development of an industrial park in Ajaokuta, which will serve as a special economic zone. Hunan Province China's top rice-producing region and a global steel hub, shares several economic similarities with Kogi, including rich natural resources. The state government says that the partnership marks the beginning of a new era, one that will open Kogi to global markets and transform its economic landscape. As the Borno state government rolls out major water intervention projects across Maiduguri, residents of Zanari community are appealing not to be left behind. The area has been grappling with severe water shortages following the collapse of the Alau Dam, a key source of water for the region. Community leaders say they fear their pressing needs may be overlooked if specific attention isn't given to Zanari in the state's restoration plans. News Central's Umeri Kirawa has been tracking the story and now brings us this report from Maiduguri.
A dream come true and happy day for the residents of Lamisula, Mafoni, among other selected areas within Maiduguri metropolis in Nigeria's Borno state. It used to be a daily struggle for them to access water, leading to children missing schools, among other concerns.
Wancan azumin mun sha wahalar ruwa sosai, amma tsabar ruwa yana zuwa daga kaman Bulaburin, London, area Gwangefo da ake ba su da ruwa har suna zuwa suna iba.
Ngura ne wahalan je yayin da kanwa abun je fanne na tera ya shiro askare na ala shiro naftini da wayaci ala kasa ne naftini da wayaci ngara gwamnati askare na.
This has been a development that News Central has been following, a cause for the rehabilitation and improved access to water supply that was hitherto destroyed by flood.
Because of the zeal and determination of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, he instructed Borno State Ruwasa to convert 48 boreholes, fuel-powered boreholes, into hybrid, and this is one of them. As you are seeing this borehole, it has a pump that has the installed capacity of 50 horsepower, and about 120,000 people are benefiting from this intervention. And it is one of the reasons why you didn't hear much cries from this area.
Local leaders of Zanari community at London Chiki are urging the government to prioritize the restoration of water supply to their community to alleviate the hardship faced by the residents.
Muna bukatar ruwa sosai a cikin anguwanmu na Zannari Kanti Goma. Muna bukatar ruwa, mai girma gwamna, godiya muke yi. Mun san kana yi kuma kai mai yi ne, shi yasa muke godiya, muke mika sako zuwa gare ka, kuma muke roko, muke kokon bara.
Jolno fal indiyar nguron be trinaro warswatin kamaso kongaso sama kalaro sabkata gejolno trinaro warswatin de suka jiri rig jiri sola yari falla indiyar nguron muradin yana fandina zo fandiyar muradin yana kalambi de nje be baranzu gwamna Borno
aw hun naptu kuyada kozna alala shirocho ala kamande awdo huro kena so ala kanasaro ande sak njinde ande banasa mashiti ande banajin ma de kur kwaya wande akunda kudai awala sandana sidin so kuma monti gna da isor ande doro shura askarnya ala darajan zasara.
They are calling on both the state and federal governments to expedite efforts to ensure that communities like theirs are not left behind in the recovery process. In Zannari for News Central, Umori Kirawa.
A 2025 report says trust in Nigeria's institutions, businesses, government, media and NGOs has increased to a trust index score of 65, up 4 months from last year. Now, the report calls on these institutions to work together to address the root causes of grievance and enable trust, growth and prosperity. In an era of skepticism, this growth is a testament to the resilience of institutions. But experts warn that this is not the time for complacency.
In 2024, Idema Nigeria Trust Barometer ranked Nigerians as second among countries in the world where innovation is well managed. The outcome of the survey, involving 28 countries, was released in the wake of a global debate on the role of innovation in society. Nigeria was at par with Kenya in the survey that also featured respondents from Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. The findings also revealed that the vast majority of Nigerians believed scientists, experts, and academics should play a crucial role in managing the introduction of innovation.
The Nigerian report has looked at businesses, media, government, and of course NGOs. And you can see what has happened. I'm happy that we have had an improvement on trust level in Nigeria. Last year it was 61%. This year it's 65%. So which indicates some improvement, isn't it?
The Trust Barometer reviews urgent global and local shifts from rising political polarization to a growing expectation for businesses to lead on societal issues.
And there's a couple of ways to really do that. One is for greater collaboration between government, business, NGOs, and media. And the second thing is to really get our leaders to act, and to act in a way that addresses socioeconomic challenges.
In Nigeria, trust in business and non-profits is at an all-time high. But what does that mean for leaders, brands, and institutions navigating today's environment of reform and uncertainty?
In Africa, we measure the trust barometer in 3 countries, South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. And usually they rank high in the global situation, where the challenges is that there are, I think, business and NGOs have a really strong lead over the rest of the other institutions.
The finding also said the government is the least trusted institution to tell the truth about innovation, with 73% of Nigerians saying leaders in government are purposely trying to mislead people by saying things they know are false or gross exaggerations.
Away from Nigeria, at least 143 people have died and many others remain missing after a crowded wooden boat carrying fuel caught fire and capsized on the Congo River in the DRC. The tragedy occurred near Mbandaka in Equatorial Province. Now, according to regional lawmaker Lokumu Josephine Pacifique, the blaze was sparked when a woman lit a cooking fire close to the containers of fuel, triggering a deadly explosion. Many of the victims were women and children. The exact number of passengers remains unclear, but it is believed the vessel was carrying several hundred people. Footage circulating online shows the boat engulfed in flames far from the shore as thick black smoke billows into the sky, and bystanders watch helplessly from nearby canoes and small boats. Some survivors have been rescued and taken to hospital while recovery operations continue. We head to Mali now, where banks and petrol stations have reopened after union workers suspended a nationwide strike on Friday. The decision came after the National Union of Banks and Related Sectors, known as SINABEF, reached an agreement with the military-led government. Now, the strike, which began on Thursday, was called to demand the release of 3 detained union members and improved working conditions. Mali has been under military rule since coups in 2020 and 2021 and continues to grapple with deep-rooted security and economic challenges. A joint statement from SINABEF and the Prime Minister's office announced the suspension of the strike following direct talks with a government delegation led by Prime Minister Abdullahi Maiga. In Tunisia, a court has handed down lengthy prison sentences ranging from 13 to 66 years to several individuals, including high-profile opposition figures, over national security-related offenses. Now, local media reports say the defendants were convicted of conspiring against state security and being members of a terrorist organization. An official from Tunisia's Anti-Terrorism Prosecutor's Office confirmed that those sentenced include prominent politicians, lawyers, and business people. The ruling represents one of the most significant crackdowns on opposition voices in recent years. More reactions are expected in the coming days as the development raises fresh concerns over political freedoms in the country. South African women who have accused Nigerian pastor Timothy Omotosho of repeatedly raping them have expressed profound disappointment following 8 years of protracted legal battles. Omotosho, a pastor associated with the Jesus Dominion International Church, was recently acquitted of all charges despite the testimonies of numerous victims, predominantly young women, who came forward to share their harrowing experiences. Now, while these survivors grapple with the outcome, they also feel a sense of pride for their resilience in confronting the pervasive issue of gender-based violence in South Africa. Despite the legal setbacks, they say they remain committed to raising awareness and advocating for change in the fight against such heinous acts. News Central Bongani Siziba has more.
Acquitted, a word that sank so deep into the years of trauma for victims who believed justice would prevail. This is the harrowing journey of women who found not solace but pain in the hands of those they trusted most, men of God. For 8 long years, they say they have carried this burden, shattered trust and the spirit.
We are sitting here today as survivors, once victimized but no longer defined by what happened to us. We once broke the silence and we will not stop using our voices. We have different emotions about the verdict. We are disappointed, we are upset, but we are not dismayed. We know whatever the outcome was, we spoke our truth and we will continue standing by it.
Pastor Timothy Omotoso, during his days at the Jesus Dominion International Church, captivated thousands to his following. But behind the pulpit, allegations surfaced: rape, human trafficking, and manipulation, among others.
The main thing that was being glorified in that church was him and not God. So I think that was also a major red flag. If we mentioned God, it had to be God of him, so it wasn't just God. So I think the major red flag was just the man being made bigger than God himself.
These victims have once again raised questions about a system meant to protect them. They say they have been receiving death threats since the acquittal of the Nigerian pastor Timothy Omotoso.
Some of us have received threats. Some of us have been, because they've been having their own digging about our lives, personal lives, or anything that could actually embarrass us. We've been backlashed and we've been bashed at.
Across the nation, voices continue rising for justice, demanding accountability for a broken system that allowed a Nigerian pastor to walk free, while the victims remained shackled by their trauma. For these women and countless others, the name Timothy Omotoso is comparable with betrayal. They say the man they often saw as a shepherd to them is now a wolf.
Had he still been out there, the numbers would have increased crazily, because he has this obsession, and he's just not a person to be within the country or anywhere. He shouldn't be out there, but it's unfortunate that under the circumstances he is out there. But we do not regret speaking. We do not regret sharing our truth. We will continue.
However, they say the road to recovery is steep, but they refuse to be silenced. They are asking for systematic change. Their pleas echo through the corridors of power. They say they may have been let down, but they will not stand by. They will fight until they see Pastor Timothy Omotoso back in prison. In Johannesburg for News Central, Bongani Siziba.
In other news from around the world, Colombia has declared a public health emergency following a yellow fever outbreak that has claimed 34 lives. In a swift response, vaccination centers have been established at Bogota's Salitre bus terminal and El Dorado International Airport. Authorities are urging both residents and travelers to get vaccinated as part of urgent efforts to contain the deadly mosquito-borne disease. Health officials say the emergency measures are critical to preventing further spread, particularly in high-traffic areas. Now, the Ministry of Health is working closely with local agencies to scale up immunization and raise public awareness. The government is calling for calm while underscoring the importance of early prevention and timely medical intervention. In the world of sport, the President Federation Cup quarterfinals are set for May 3rd, with all matches kicking off at 4 p.m. Now, NFF Director of Competitions Ruth David announced the schedule on Saturday across multiple venues. Wiki tourists will face Ikorodu City at Buhari Stadium in Abuja. At Area 3 Stadium, also in Abuja, Plateau United takes on Rangers International in what promises to be a competitive match. Our Giant Killers at Bakiliki FC will challenge Nasarawa United at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City. Rounding out the quarterfinals, Akwa United and Kwara United will battle at Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu. These 8 teams remain in contention for the prestigious 2025 President Federation Cup. The Nigerian Football Federation has made a historic appointment for this week's Southwest Derby. An all-female crew will officiate the high-stakes match between Shooting Stars and Remo Stars at Lekon Salami Stadium in Ibadan. FIFA referee Ndidi Madu Patience will serve as center referee. She'll be assisted by Mfong Akpan and Faith Agbons on the lines, with Anna Eliagu as 4th official. This landmark assignment comes during match day 34 of the 2024-2025 Nigeria Professional Football League season. Now, the NFF has also announced referee appointments of other weekend fixtures, including key matchups for Enyimba International, Rivers United, and Rangers International. Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti says he will discuss his future with the club at the end of the season following their Champions League elimination. Now, the record 15-time champions were knocked out by Arsenal in the quarterfinals, losing 5-1 on aggregate. Despite his contract running until 2026, speculations is mounting about his dismissal. Real Madrid currently trail Barcelona by 4 points in La Liga and will face their rivals in the Copa del Rey final on April 26. Ancelotti insists that the team remains united, saying that they're all in the same boat in the good and bad times. The Italian has recently been linked with the vacant Brazilian national team position.
Jugadores, he hablado con el club, estamos todos en la misma línea, que es de seguir en la pelea para los títulos que tenemos. Obviamente estamos todos dolidos, como la afición de salir de la competición puede ser más importante, o por lo menos donde el club ha tenido.
And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our top stories. We told you that presidency denies reports of Vice President Shatima being denied access to Villa. We also told you that many feared trapped as multi-story building collapses in Lagos. Finally, you heard that 143 people reported dead, many others missing after crowded wooden boat carrying fuel caught fire and capsized on Congo River. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.